Well, we got good news and bad news.
What's the good news?
So we've got DNA.
What's the bad news?
The prints on the shower curtain, no match.
So basically, we got nothing.
According to Brown, Pellegrino, Backman, and Simone were all strangled, raped, and murdered by the same guy.
Hello guys and welcome back to Geek Legion of Doom. I'm Lisa from the Lisa Loves channel and I'm here today to do a review for you for Chronicle of a Serial Killer. Now the important bit I've written down before we start because God knows my memory. So this was written by John Bianco and directed by Steve Stannoulis. Hopefully we're pronouncing that correct. It stars also the director Steve Stannoulis, Dominic Swain, Brendan Sexton III, DMX in I believe his last movie appearance before his death, Jack Scalia and James Russo amongst others. They're the main listed actors in this one. So what's the movie about? So Chronicle of a Serial Killer follows, surprisingly enough, a serial killer who has issues with his upbringing. He was not treated very well by his parents to the extreme. Although he was also had issues with his dad, he seems to have put all of this energy and hatred into how he feels about his mother. Therefore, he now has grown up and he hates women. He believes all women are going to turn into his mother. And this is what starts him down this road of basically becoming a serial killer. He also tends to target women that look quite similar to his mother. So all of those repressed memories from his childhood, even though a lot of what was perpetrated was by his father, his hatred is very, very much directed at his dad. In this, we also follow two police detectives, one male and one female, who the body count's rising in the area that they work in. They're trying to catch this serial killer working together. And that's our basic premise. So we have the cops, we have the serial killer, and we follow both at different stages of the movie. So that, in a nutshell, is what our story is about. So on to what I thought of it. So I will say this is called Chronicle of a Serial Killer. I would have thought we would spend more of the movie concentrating on the actual serial killer. We do get flashbacks of his childhood, which I thought was one of the most effective parts of the movie, were those flashback scenes. I thought they were well done. But I would say we easily spend 3/4 of the movie with the police detectives and their investigation into trying to catch the serial killer. We do get very short scenes of him with the woman that he has abducted, that he kidnaps, that he goes on to abuse and kill. But we don't really get as much of that as we do of the police officers. How this serial killer actually manages to find his victims: he watches couples on dates, he does a bit of jiggery pokery on the internet. I'll not go into too much detail. He watches these people and he basically picks his target from sitting watching people in bars and restaurants. So with us having Dominic Swain in this movie, who is a very young, beautiful actress, we basically use her as bait. We put her in a public setting, send her on dates. Now that part of the movie was actually funny, where she meets lots of different men and they obviously have her meet every woman's idea of the worst date in the world. They send one in after another, and it's like, oh my God, can this get any worse? And it keeps getting worse. And she's just losing the will to live by the end of it. But not that much. Not that she wants to meet no serial killer, but that is one of the aspects of the investigation, which was actually quite funny, was her dates in these areas, in these pubs. So my main point definitely would be that I feel like we follow the police too much and we don't follow the serial killer enough. Henry Brolin, I believe his name was. I feel I would have liked a little bit more backstory about his past, about his childhood. I feel that the most effective parts of the movie were when we were seeing that. That was where the most emotion was packed. That was where I felt that we connected with the audience and we sort of got inside his head. I feel like the scenes with the woman that he had abducted were very cliche, I've seen 100 times before, even though he was a nasty piece of work. And probably I would say the best actor here is the actor who plays the serial killer. I didn't feel convinced, I didn't feel frightened, I didn't feel hatred. I just sort of didn't feel very much, I have to admit. I didn't feel that things were pushed far enough. I didn't think that he was quite nasty enough. I didn't feel any sense of menace from him as a character. The police officers, I felt that Dominic Swain's performance here was very lacking, I have to admit. I feel most of the performances were very, very amateur. Now, I don't know if that's down to the script, which was very ropey in places. Things weren't properly fleshed out. The script, it came across like students in film school that were making their first movie had done this. And they weren't very talented. I don't like to be wholly negative, but this movie was really difficult to get through. I very much am a massive fan of crime movies, of movies about serial killers, of police sort of investigations. I love that. That's completely my bag. But I did not enjoy this film, I have to be honest with you. Acting, not very good. Script, absolutely terrible. It felt very amateur from start to finish. The editing was really disjointed and really nothing flowed. One thing I have to add about the sound design in general, not so much how the movie sounded from a technical standpoint, but the choices made with music that was used, incidental music, background music for certain scenes was really, really distracting, did not fit. I felt that the mood, the tone of certain scenes was completely ruined by the music that was used. In certain cases it was so loud and distracting that it completely took you out. You should never, I feel, notice background music. It should add to the scene, it should add to the tension, it should add to the romance, it should add to the action, it should add to the feeling of dread. It's there to elevate the feeling that you have as you watch a movie, and in this, I was completely taken out of the movie and concentrating on what I was hearing because it was so distracting for me. So that was a big letdown. One thing I do not want to say everything negative. One thing I will say as a positive is I feel that the special effects that were used were pretty believable. The blood was pretty good. A lot of movies you watch, the blood is totally unconvincing. I feel in this that they did get that right. I feel that the effects that were used, they were used sparingly, but I feel they were believable. You're not going to like watch it and see something with special effects like a high budget movie. Of course you're not, because this is not a high budget movie, but I feel they were believable. I don't feel they stood out as being something that wasn't up to par. That part of things I was impressed by. But overall, I feel that the acting, when you watch this, you will sit down multiple times and be like, that was a bit, you know, that teeth noise. You'll probably find yourself making that quite a lot at the acting in this, at the script, at the dialogue. I just don't feel it was very well put together at all. I hate to be this negative about something, but this one was difficult to get through, guys. Had I not been reviewing this for Geek Legion of Doom channel, I would not have finished it. So that's where I'm coming from with this one. Have you seen it? Does it sound, after my words, like something you would like to watch? But there's movies out there for all of us, folks. Just because I didn't like it does not mean you won't. If I was going to rate this one out of a 10, I'll come in at a 3. I feel really bad doing that, but I'm giving it a 3 for the believable effects. But I do feel there's an awful lot more work to be done here before this movie should have been ready for release. And quite a bit of recasting would need to be done, and you would need to completely rewrite that script because it was amateur to the extreme. But yeah, special effects does not a good movie make, guys, and it wasn't one of those so bad it's good, so we couldn't even go down that avenue. But let me know, guys, if it's something that you sound like you want to see. Just because I didn't like it does not mean that you won't like it. Let me know if you've seen it, if you fancy watching it. Let us know your thoughts below, we love to read them, and I look forward to speaking to you next time.